What's good, YouTube? Welcome back for another reaction. Today we're going to be doing Solo Leveling episode 11. I'm excited to see what happens with this whole job change quest. I think Jinwoo is gonna, it might be a little bit tougher than he thinks it's gonna be. Last episode was kind of a bit more chill. He seemed pretty relaxed, but usually these job kind of quest lines are usually pretty tough because you get a big power up afterwards. So I'm excited to see what the quest is like, and then also if he's gonna have the option to choose different classes, right? He's kind of been an assassin build this whole time mostly. Is he gonna have the option to kind of lean into some more tank-like attributes? Maybe he could get some more magical abilities, maybe lean into being a mage. We'll have to see how all that pans out. With that being said, I think we can get right into this episode.
これだけ町から離れてれば大丈夫だろう。何が起きるかわからないからな。転職クエスト。前回のレイドでレベル40を超えた時に出てきたクエスト。
Okay, so level 40 was the cap for it.
与えられたダンジョンも2つあったが、ここまで直接的なシステムからの介入はペナルティクエストと緊急クエスト以外では初めてか。しかも今回は他のクエストと違って選択の余地と時間的猶予を与えられている。それだけ困難なクエストということか。
Yeah, a little bit more difficult.
職業に応じたスキルが得られる期待のイベントだ。
Yeah, dude, job change.
強くなれる。はい。
Yeah, I would be excited, man. Ooh. Dang. Hot start here.
しまったデイリークエスト。まあいいか、戻ってからで。
Oh no.
さて、やっとこのゲームが本格。
No, that'd be good to have the total recovering stuff. That's kind of a blunder.
面白そうだ。
It's like a great haul. Ooh. Some kind of red knight. Fancy glass of wine. Jinho's dad is bougie.
遅くなりました。
いや、時間通りだ、ジンソン。
Says brother.
ジンホ。
He does not look like a nice guy.
思ったより普通のダンジョン。ポーションと状態の回復が使えない。
Ooh, okay, so you're gonna use it anyways, so it's not a big deal.
出ることもできない。
Yeah. It's so cool when he pulls out the dagger every time.
鎧タイプのモンスターか。
A knight. That's not the red knight though, that's a regular one. But still has the orange tag.
聞いてない。
I wonder if he's gonna have to use his brain a little bit here. Feral Strike, okay. God, the animation, it's so smooth, man. Oh, he's gonna use his raw strength, yeah. Ooh. This is black goo.
急所月1回分無駄にした。ダメージもマナも回復できないってのに。
Oh wait, he can't he can't recover mana. Does it come back slowly? Oh man, there's a lot of them.
どうしたジンホ？あまり食事が進んでない。
あ、いえ。
ジンソン、ギルド立ち上げの方はどうだ？レスキューハンターに断られたという話は私の耳にも入った。
確かにミンビョングハンター、チャヘインハンターには断られましたが問題ありません。現在ヨーロッパや中東圏のハンターとの交渉を進めています。
Okay.
彼らは条件次第でサインする。ファンドンスハンターの例もありますので。
そうだな。
Dongsu.
そうか。ジンホ、お前が裏でこそこそ動いているのは分かっている。C 級レイドを高値で買い漁り、実績を積もうとしていることも趣味のうちはいい。だが、俺の邪魔だけはするな。
兄さんは兄貴を知らないから。兄貴の力があれば絶対。
Yeah. He's got some contempt for his brother too.
さすがに戦い詰めは疲れるな。これで一息つけそう。
Bruh, stealth?
秘密を使うのまで出てくるのか。
Yeah, this ain't no normal dungeon, man.
しかも先行を放ちやがった。
Light magic.
先行魔法。どうなってんだ。カサカの剣といい。まるでこれまでの戦いを振り返ってるかのようだ。
Man, it's like dynamic depending on the cases he's been in.
モンスターに役立つ能力が異なってくる。ナイトは筋力、視覚は感覚、アーチャーはスピード。
Very cool.
筋力
So I have to have a balanced build.
感覚が低いと視覚の気配を察知。
Yeah. If he had like valued one too much, he would be in trouble here.
おそらく知能で対抗するところなんだろうが。あいにくと知能はそこまで上げてない。
Oh, yeah, you
お金
see.
マナも少ない。ギルの使用は温存したいが。
Jinwoo using his brain, I like it.
変わってきた。
Damn, that's some cool armor.
皆さん集まっているようですね。いよいよです。
Are they gonna do the reconnaissance mission already? Gotta rehydrate,
こ
boy.
んなもんでも貴重だな。モンスターから出てきてくれて助かった。
Oh, did he give him the water?
上級ナイトの胸当てか。そういえ
Nice.
ば装備品は試してなかったな。おお、透明になるのか。見た目が変わらないのは助かるな。
He doesn't have to look like Jinho.
動きの邪魔にもならない。状態の回復がないからレベルも上がった。ゴールドもアイテムも集まった。
Yeah, I feel like this was pretty good training experience.
そろそろ次のステージに進んでみる。
All right. Is that gonna be the red knight he saw? Yeah, it looks like it. It's a big door.
この扉の向こうにどれほど強いのか。攻略しないと出られないのなら進むしかない。
Damn.
身震いしそうなこの空気。
Yeah, that'd be intimidating, man. It's a cool new little soundtrack we got. It's got some flowing hair, baby.
目が耳が指先が
Oh no.
全身が覚えている。
Oh shit. So me like an S rank kind of though?
正体はこいつか。
Damn, he looks badass. Oh, he's red.
鉄のイグリッド。
Igris the Blood Red.
赤黒い。やはりこれまでの奴らとは違う。
Jeez.
主のいない玉座を守れないと。
He probably has to beat him to take that throne. You gotta prove yourself. Oh, dude, this is about to be an epic fucking fight. I can feel it.
まるで小枝を折るように。
Jeez, man.
もんじゃない。
This is probably gonna be like facing an S rank, man. I mean, overwhelming power.
あの重そうな鎧を身につけてこの速度。なんて野郎だ。
He's definitely gonna have to use some abilities here.
やはりダメか。
Dang. The red lightning. Maybe use stealth? Glowing eyes.
探検も通らない。俺がこいつに勝つ方法なんてあんのか。想像以上に強敵だ。けど素手で勝てる気はしないが、鎧の中までダメージを与えるためにはこれしかない。
Yeah, I gotta use your strength. No way. He's being
余裕ぶっ
chivalrous.
こいてんの。
He's He's confident. Oh, we haven't seen the chairman in a while.
まだ帰られないのですか。帰る気に
Man's always grinding at work.
ついでに溜まっていた仕事を片付けている。今日やらなくてもいい仕事を片付けてみました。いよいよですね。噂をすればだ。私だ。これから出発かね。
まずは会長に感謝を
Dang, are they going to Jeju?
していただきありがとうございます。
礼には及ばんよ。君たちがテレビのインタビューや雑誌の取材で何度もジェジュ島のことを口にしてきた結果だ。大衆もあの島の悲劇を忘れず、世界の空気も変わりつつある。
Got some of the politics here.
その流れにほんの少し助力しただけに過ぎない。
ネタコを起こすなとの非難も来るのでは。
その程度の盾にはなる。だが気をつけたまえ。ジェジュ島は危険な場所だ。
Yeah.
今回の目的は威力偵察。軽く敵をつつき、敵の戦力と規模を調べること。第3次ジェジュ島レイド
Oh, the third raid. Okay.
は僕の中で未だ続いているのです。早い
We need to see some abilities. Where's the dash and the stealth? Imagine if little E-rank Jinwoo was here. How about you get pummeled?
体力が500は減った気がする。
Damn.
防具をつけておいて正解だった。まともに食らっていたら死んでいたかもしれない。
Wow.
剣を捨ててもなおこの力。
How is he gonna take this guy on?
こちらは速度を上げて。
Okay, he's gonna use dash. Damn, new dash is dope. He's still fast as hell though. Ooh.
パッシブスキルで防御力が上がった。
Damn, he runs so fast, man. So cool. Damn, he looked like Sanji twirling around. Oh, he's pissed now. Sheesh, man, he's getting rocked. Oh, he's on the throne, though. Is that gonna do something? He's really hurt. Your sweet little sister. I thought it was a slice of cake for a second. Just a nice, beautiful sandwich. Is this the hospital? Oh, it's her. Okay. Jeez, man. Oh.
まだ負けちゃいない。
Did he give him the eye? He's got that sheer willpower here. Oh, cool. Dang. Really cool. Love that drawing. Man, where did that come from, though? You have defeated, yep.
かなりギリギリだった。
For real, man.
勝てたのはまぐれだろう。スキル、 実力
Yeah, I wonder how it happened. Something had to have happened.
そう感じる戦いだった下手すりゃ死んでたのは報酬が4つも150万ゴールドが入った巾着それからイグリッドと同じ形の兜しかも S 級アイテム悪魔の城の鍵も S 級だったが装備系アイテムで S 級はこれが初だよ
Cool.
物理ダメージ 15% 減少に体力筋力プラス20の装備効果
He's starting to get the best in slot.
さらにルーン石支配者ってどんなスキルなんだまあそのうちわかるだろう
Hmm.
即時機関石インベントリーに保管できないどうしてこのタイミングで機関石を出
It's just to get out of the dungeon?
まさか転職クエストはまだ終わってない
Bruh.
交戦時間の長さ本当上位クラスってのは
Good luck.
運を祈りますって無限ウェーブか
Bro, after fighting that, then you gotta do this?
イグリッド級のやつらだったらものの数秒で俺がやられていただろうこいつらなら今の俺にも十分倒せるしかし
Yeah.
厄介だ
But now he's got the helmet and stuff. I'm sure he leveled up from that fight too. And we're gonna get to see some hunters we haven't seen before.
どうしても倒しても次から次へとゲートから湧いて出てくるこの転職クエストは経過時間が鍵だなら
Yeah, that's smart.
隠密は使用時に200 1秒につき1のマナが必要だ残り190ギリギリまで時間を稼いでやる
Yeah, it's either that or you use your dash. Oh,
隠密が見破られた
cool. They got counters to your stealth. Man, Murderous Intent is so dope.
でも隠密も殺気も使えない 経過時間はまだたった5秒賞賛がない残念だがここは機関石を使って
Not again. Man, every time he tries to use a stone, bro. Don't tell me it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, man. No! No! Why? This is not fair, man. All right, everyone. That was Solo Leveling episode 11, A Knight Who Defends an Empty Throne. Fun episode, very action-packed. You know, a little bit of a change of pace from the last episode again. Definitely seems that the show likes to, you know, do a big raid on a gate or some kind of quest for Jinwoo and then kind of has a more of a decompressing episode after and then goes back to all the action. So this one was fun to get the blood pumping once again. You know, right off the bat, immediate reaction to this episode is just awesome animation. I mean, the fights in this show are just so fluid. I can't imagine how much time and effort went into actually animating this. I mean, it's super, super impressive how you know, well drawn all the fights are. I mean, this fight in particular with Jinwoo versus the Red Knight, I mean, it just looks so cool. Especially the final blow that Jinwoo makes to him and all like the you know, the very outline drawing. It just makes it so intense and it makes you feel so much of the fight. It's very, very well done. So kudos to you know, the animation team and the producer. I mean, just really, really great. And it always is paired well with the soundtrack. The soundtrack, you know, I've mentioned this before, but it really adds to the, you know, the emotion that you feel, the intensity. You know, there's a lot of eeriness to it. You know, it's foreboding. You know, just there's not enough adjectives to describe how good it is. So really enjoyed that. But let's talk a little bit about his job quest first, because right off the bat, they give us some information about, you know, what he had to do to get this quest. He had to get level 40 to, you know, get this job change quest, this option. And then right off the bat too, Jinwoo says that he forgets to do his training, his daily training. And, you know, in my mind, I was like, oh shit, he's not gonna have his full recovery reward to use here, which quickly gets dismissed, you know, when he gets in the dungeon, says he can't use potions and he can't use full recovery. So doesn't really matter. But, you know, he says he's just gonna do it afterwards. Is he gonna be able to? Is, you know, by the time he finishes the dungeon, it's gonna be the end of the day. He might end up going right from this quest to a penalty, and he's gonna be exhausted. He could be really hurt. I mean, by the end of this episode, he's in a tough situation, right? So I'm a little worried about that. He's gonna have to do a lot to get out of this one, and I'd imagine that, you know, that's gonna come into play. I would be surprised if the author put that in there, you know, kind of like, you know, the gun that's introduced in the scene, someone's gonna use that eventually, right? So this is kind of like, hey, you didn't do your training, you're probably gonna get axed for that one, right? But early in the dungeon, we see that Jinwoo has to face multiple different kinds of opponents. And I like the play on this where, you know, each opponent, he needs to have a certain amount of ability points to kind of be able to handle them. So right off the bat, he faces the armor type opponent and he has to use his strength, right? It reminds him of the serpent that he had to fight. I think that was in the 3rd episode or so. And, you know, it reminded him of the scales on that snake and how he had to use his strength to overcome that, right? And then he has to use perception to overcome the assassin, similar to how he overcame Khan, who had the stealth ability. These assassins have the stealth ability, and he has to use his perception to overcome that and know where they are and protect himself. And then it's agility for the archers to be able to be mobile enough to dodge their blows. And then the last one is the magicians, which he says that he is theorizing that he needs intellect to overcome them, but he has kind of neglected intellect, right? Kind of going back to early on in you know, the first couple episodes, or I guess it's probably the 3rd episode, he puts a lot of his training points into strength specifically, right? And I remember saying at the time that I was concerned, is he gonna be like overdoing it? You know, obviously there's pros to that, but is he gonna get, you know, kind of doxed for that later on? And maybe this is gonna be the case, right? He doesn't have a lot of intellect, which means he doesn't have a big mana pool to be able to use all the cool new abilities he has. You know, stealth is very consuming. Fatal Strike sounds like it uses a lot of mana. And he's worried that, you know, without being able to use potions, he kind of has a limitation here, right? But in general with those, he's able to take them on. He gets some new gear, which is cool to see, and we get information that it can stay invisible. So it's kind of like he's wearing, you know, some kind of like skin or something over top of it, just his normal clothes. So he doesn't have to look like Jinho all decked out and standing out. You know, he's definitely more of a minimalist kind of style. He doesn't want to be the person who's, you know, flashy. You know, he wants to stay below the radar in general, especially with his, you know, this unique skill that he has with the system. You know, it makes a lot of sense that he's happy that he can just keep his normal appearance. So, but it's cool to see him gathering more equipment, and we get like a little flash of his equipment and the different stats it's giving him. In general, they're all kind of like, you know, small little buffs and stuff. But it's cool to see that, you know, we're getting more information on that side of it. But yeah, once he defeats all these opponents, he gets to the big gate and he, you know, has this battle with the Red Knight, and immediately Jinwoo says how he equates the strength or the feeling of this opponent to the double dungeon, the statues and the amount of fear he had then. So I don't know if that's in relation to his power level now versus his power level then, and like kind of the gap between his opponent and him. But I would imagine that's kind of what it's like, right? And you quickly see this. I mean, the Crimson Knight is just as fast as him, but way more powerful. I mean, he can barely keep up with this thing. Even when he uses his 2nd level of his dash, you know, the thing's keeping up with him. By the way, the animation when he used the 2nd level of dash was so cool. Just darting around and the knight kind of following him as he goes. Really, really cool. I love that part. But eventually he does land a blow on the knight, and the knight gets super angry. And this is when they're doing the hand-to-hand combat. I thought it was really cool that the knight, you know, put down his weapons too and was like, yeah, I can take you with my fist too. Kind of almost like a pride thing, you know, as a prideful knight who's not going to back down from a different kind of challenge. It's this duel here, right? But it was pretty interesting because even in the title of this, the knight who defends an empty throne, right? And, you know, Jinwoo says that when he kind of confronts the knight and you see the throne behind him. And immediately that made me think of like, okay, well, who's supposed to be in that throne and why are they missing? And, you know, when Jinwoo's about to get defeated, he gets launched into that throne and he's there, and all of a sudden he gets this power surge, right? And we get a flash for him, you know, his sister and his mom, and then he gets this big power surge. So I'm curious if there's more to that. You know, I might just be kind of, you know, grasping at straws here, looking too deep into it, but why did he get this sudden surge of power all of a sudden after he sat in this throne, right? Is he the one who's meant to be there? Is the player supposed to be the one in the throne? I thought that was really interesting, and maybe there's something more there that we'll have to see. But right after he gets that, he's able to stab the Crimson Knight in the eye, it seems, and it was cool because the Crimson Knight tried to take his knife. He's like, "Nope, that's mine." He re-summons it from his inventory, and that's kind of how he gets the leg up. He tricks it a bit, and he eventually defeats it. But he gets 4 rewards from this knight. It didn't show if he leveled up, but I imagine he did if this knight was so strong. So he gets the pouch that has 1.5 million gold in it, which I'd assume is what he can use to buy in the store. I'm not sure if he's able to buy stuff now or not, because if he can, with the predicament he gets in later, right after this, maybe he could buy something that could help him out. I don't know, we'll have to see with that. He gets the helmet of the knight, which is an S rank slot, so it's probably his best in slot at this point for his head, and it gives him strength and vitality and pretty high damage resistance, which is really cool. Once again, he can keep it invisible so he's not looking over the top like Jinho. The most interesting one though was the ruler's hand rune. It doesn't specify what skill he'll gain, so it's either gonna be random or maybe when he crushes it, he's gonna get a few options. I think that's gonna be really cool to see, and I'm imagining that with the predicament he gets in when the job chain quest actually starts, and he can't use a teleportation stone because he loses it, maybe he's gonna have to kind of dip into these rewards, right? Either go to the store to buy something that's gonna give him a leg up, or maybe use the stone in hopes that it gives him a new skill that's gonna be useful to get him out of this predicament. All these things were pretty interesting. And let's talk about the job change quest just starting after he beats the Crimson Knight, because it did say it's just starting. You need to survive as long as possible to gain advancement points, which are necessary for a higher class. So I'd assume that the longer he survives in this quest, the more advancement points he gets, and the more advancement points he gets, he can either afford a higher class, or maybe there's levels to the classes. So if he survives, for 10 minutes, he could probably get the highest class or less. We'll have to see how the metrics get laid out here. But I thought it was a pretty interesting concept. Obviously, he kind of gets boned at the end. Once again, whenever he takes off freaking teleportation stone, for whatever reason, he gets knocked out of his hand, just like when he faced the Cerberus, right? Obviously, kind of a plot device here. It ends a bit off on a cliffhanger with that, and we'll have to see in the next episode how he gets out of it. He's definitely gonna have to have some kind of new level up that gets introduced though, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But let's also talk quickly about some of the other side plot lines that are going on in this episode. First, let's talk about Jinho. He's having dinner with his father, and his brother comes into the picture for the first time. I think his brother's name was Jingsun, and right off the bat, he does not look like a very nice guy. He kind of looks like Godo from Hunter x Hunter, the butler, kind of a little bit intimidating looking, more stoic. He doesn't seem very friendly, and we kind of get that he's pretty serious demeanor. Him and Jinho's father talk a little bit about how the guild work's going and how multiple S ranks have denied them at this point. But Jingsun's pretty convinced that some S rank hunters that they gave offers to in the Middle East or in Europe will say yes, right? As long as we abide by their terms. And they actually say that the terms are similar to Dong Su's. So maybe Dong Su has a very unique deal with his guild that he's currently a part of that maybe gives him more freedom or maybe more money. Who knows what it really is, but it'll be interesting to see what the actual contractual side of it is. And I'd imagine that it's probably not the best for the guild themselves. You're probably sacrificing a lot, if I had to imagine. Or it's the S rank hunters who kind of are a little bit more selfish. These are the kind of deals that or conditions that they go through. But we see Jinho doesn't like it right away. He's like, kind of like a S rank from a different country. There has to be downsides to that, right? You probably have less control overall. But we definitely see that Jinho and his brother Jingsun don't have a great relationship. Jingsun knows that what Jinho is doing, that he's buying out these C rank dungeons, but he kind of warns him. He's like, don't get in my way. It's okay if you're doing that as a personal project, but don't get in my way. And Jinho doesn't really like that he has internal dialogue about if only you knew how strong Jinwoo is, who's underneath me, right? But it's cool to get a little bit more of the dynamic between him and his brother, his dad, and some more information about the guild that they're starting up. And I'd imagine as Dong-Soo comes in the picture, maybe that will kind of conflict with their guild and whatnot. Lastly, we get a little bit of information about the Jeju Island reconnaissance mission starting. I'm a little surprised that it started this early, but we see a little bit of politics at play, and once again, the Hunter Association Guildmaster, how him continuing to talk about Jeju Island, be on TV about it, keep it in the mind of the public to try to sway them to, hey, we gotta still keep this in mind. We gotta, this is still a threat to us. And the chairman kind of backs him in this mission to kind of push them over the edge. But he seems a little like, hey, be careful here. This isn't, remember how dangerous it is there. But the Hunter Guildmaster, he's aware. He's like, hey, we're just testing the strength of the enemy here, seeing where they're at. And I think he says, this is either the third or fourth raid. He says that, the third raid is something that, the battle has never ended. So I think this is technically the fourth raid, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not, the first episode, I don't know which raid that was, but I imagine that was probably the last time they raided Jeju Island. And so they've had multiple attempts at this island. So it must be that ultimate grand, final boss kind of thing in this world. And, it's taken multiple attempts for them to actually figure out how to overcome it. So it'll be cool to see these other hunters in action. We get a little glimpse of some of them. They look pretty cool. We definitely haven't seen all of them before. So I'm hoping in the next episode, we get to see a little bit of them in action, see some new powers, see some rankings between them all. It's gonna be really, really exciting. But yeah, I think that wraps up the review for this episode. It's sad that we only got one more left in the season, but really been enjoying it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments. Like if you enjoyed this one, subscribe if you've been following along, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.